Yeah, which we're not going to do no commercials, so go ahead, just record.
All right, thank you. Let me hang on a second. I have I'm over at Coscino's Italian Bar and Grill. We're going to give them some free pops here. And boy, I tell you what, I poisoned lots of people with the truth, and I think God has ordained me to share the truth. And believe it or not, a couple hundred people out here in New Orleans, Louisiana, has come to the truth, and they blame me for it. Damn it, But I mean, I'm glad I got the Spirit of God with me, and I love spewing the truth, and until my last breath, that's what I'm going to do. I'm at casinos. In fact, half the people at casinos are now flat earthers, or at least they are actually knowing that we're not on a spinning ball. So they might not be full-fledged flat earthers, but I know my colleague, Mike Coscino, who's going to join us. And by the way, he is a New Orleans musician that's got his guitar with him. And he is a big fan of Alex Michael, the Flat Earth Music Man. And he's probably envious of me that I met him in Denver. And without any prolonged, we've had some technical difficulties getting Alex on the show today. Took us literally about 45 minutes. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome from all the way from Spain, the Flat Earth Music Man, Alex Michael.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Well, I shall be speaking in my normal voice. Most people know that the Flat Earth Man is a character. So, and that accent is kind of hard to keep up all the way through an interview, man. It's like, it's kind of tough to do that. When I was on stage in Denver and I was singing for like an hour in that voice, man, my voice just started cracking on the fourth song. It was pretty tough. So, throughout this interview, I should just be my normal English self. But yeah, I'm coming to you live from Spain, and as you say, I just got back from Barcelona from another conference there, and I was fortunate enough to be dragged on stage and do a song up there. So yeah, Flat Earth really takes you places, man, and yeah, Barcelona was one of those places.
Well, let me ask you a question, buddy. Shelley Lewis and myself, on behalf of Flat Earth Radio Live, we actually were invited to cover, for the media, in the Flat Earth New Zealand conference. I believe recently I heard that you're not going to be going. Is that correct?
Yeah, they made an assumption, actually. They just assumed that I was going. I think they got that assumption because they put a thing out on Facebook, and I said that I was attending. And what I meant by clicking on the attend button is that I was actually going to be there doing a live Skype conversation, because she approached me about doing a live link up. So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I think, I know, something got confused along the way, and she assumed I was going and assumed that I would be performing as well. But you know what they say about assumption. So yeah, she got it wrong, and she put it on the website that I was going to be going there and going to be performing. But it's just not possible because, one, it's so far away. Two, it's so expensive. I don't get paid for these gigs. The one I did in Denver cost me thousands to go there. And it's exhausting, it's stressful, it cost me an awful lot of money. If I had a money tree, I would go to New Zealand, but, there's no money in Flat Earth, I'm afraid. So, unfortunately, I won't be going to that event, but I will be doing a live Skype link up.
Well, hell, on my way there, Shelly and I, we're going to come pick your ass up, and you're going to come join us in Flat Earth in the New Zealand conference, man.
Yeah,
no,
I would. That simple.
I didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to talk with you at length in Denver, but heck, it was our first gig, and we were scared. We weren't scared, you know what I mean? But we were kind of anxious about meeting as many people as we can. And I think the last night there, I was supposed to go with you and Dave Marsh and a few others to some kind of houseboat party or something, and I never made it because I don't know. One thing led, just like anything else, you're trying to shake hands and have conversations with as many faces as you can. But man, we really enjoy you. You were my favorite part of Denver, and you, as well as the Rob Skeeper deal. You know what I mean? I think that was you guys highlighted everything, and Shelley's in full agreement with me. But we're gonna miss you in New Zealand, man.
Yeah, that's a real shame. The Denver thing, like you say, it was such a whirlwind event. As soon as I walked in on the first day of the conference, so many people were coming up to me and and hugging me and asking for photographs and that. It was a real opportunity to see what my music is doing and how it's touching people. And it was just such a, I'd made plans to go to the Rockies and do other things, but it just never materialized because it was just, the whole thing was just such a whirlwind. it was a crazy time, and I wish I could do the conference in New Zealand. I wish apparently there's going to be conferences this year. I wish I could go to every single one. I've been invited to Italy. I've been invited to the UK conference, and I'd love to do them, but these things, they cost so much money.
Right.
Say that the Denver thing cost me thousands. So I'm still recovering financially from that. I mean, I've just released my album a couple of months ago, and I haven't got the sales figures yet, and I should be getting those in a couple of weeks. Now, if that album has done well, and I've sold, a few thousand copies, at the moment I simply can't afford it. It's that simple.
Hey, Alex, we got our first, in fact, I'm with Mike Coscino. He is a musician and a big fan of yours, and I think he's got a question for you about your album, your new album, going to number 4, number 5 on the charts in the UK. And I want you to welcome Mike. By the way, thank you for letting us use your restaurant and your studio. He's got a lot of great musicians here, and I think he's been anxious to talk to you, and he just popped in. Hey, Mike Coscino, say hello to Alex Michael.
Hey, Alex, how you doing, pal?
I'm good, Mike. Thanks ever so much, man, for allowing us into your space, man, and talking about flat Earth and music. So, it's good to meet you, man.
Yeah, same here. Listen, when you write a song, all the songs that you're writing, all the songs that you're writing lately, all involve flat Earth titles?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, the very phrase flat Earth does not actually appear so much in the album. I mean, the album is really, when I first realized there was no photographs of Earth, no real, authentic photographs, then that was incredible for me to understand that. So I wrote a song called No Photographs of Earth. And then when I came to the understanding that gravity is just a hoax and it's a theory and it's never been proven, so I wrote a song about Don't Believe in Gravity is the title of that song. And then, you understand that the moon landings are all fake as well. So I wrote a song called Do You Still Believe We Went to the Moon? And then you learn about satellites are not exactly what we're being told. So I wrote a song about Welcome to the Satellite Hoax is the title of that. So you can see by the titles of the songs, it's almost my awakening and my understanding through flat Earth. It's not necessarily a flat Earth album, but it's all the bullet points that are attached to the understanding of flat Earth. And although flat Earth is not mentioned a million times through that album, but the gravity is obviously a massive part of flat Earth. Satellites is a massive part of flat Earth. The Apollo hoax is a huge part. So it's basically a dot connecting exercise, and it's kind of the album of my awakening, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Listen, my bar manager and my daughter is here and has a request for you.
This is Danny. Danny, this is Alex Michael. Say, you can come to the mic.
Hey.
Say you have a request.
How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Just one thing, picture on the screen. What I have, I think I might have Rick's screen on here. So for whatever reason, I can only see you as a tiny circle in the top right-hand corner screen, which is a shame. But anyway, never mind. Let's continue.
Okay. All right. What's the request?
Gravity. It was so cool. I had a teacher that knew it all. She taught me how water could stick to a ball, how buildings stick to the underside of a ball that spins like a carousel ride. Man, it all sounded crazy to me, but I love learning about gravity. I couldn't wait to tell my dad about the amazing day that I had. He picked me up, I was bursting with pride. He opened up the door and I jumped inside. He smiled at me and said, "How was your day?" I said, "Dad, I was blown away. I learned about this magical thing, but it's kind of got my head in a spin. I learned about this Newton guy. When an apple fell on his head, he surmised that there must be a force that's pulling it down, and everything's being sucked to the ground. A force that sticks us all to this ball. The people, the buildings, the oceans, and all." So it was written in history. Newton had discovered gravity. Well, he just looked at me and he said, "Don't believe in gravity. Don't believe in fantasy. Don't believe, 'cause a theory's all it is. It's never been proven, but they teach it to the kids, yeah." Well, my dad felt a little bit sad for me when I mentioned that word gravity. He said, have a little independent thought and question what you just been taught. I mean, how the hell can a ball that spins make a force so strong that sucks everything in, yet birds and insects fly unaffected? Gravity must be so selective. Think logically, cause that don't make no sense to me. You gotta question all those preachers preach and question all those teachers teach. You see, gravity is just a bunch of bull. That Newton guy is just a lying fool. These guys like Newton shouldn't be trusted. Their Freemasonic lies have been busted. In fact, my boy, it's density. And that's why things fall down, you see. An object always falls to the ground if it's heavier than the air that surrounds. If it's lighter than air, then it'll rise. It'll keep on floating up to the skies. That's what's known as buoyancy, and that makes more sense than gravity. So let me hear you sing it one more. Don't believe in gravity. Don't believe in fantasy. Don't believe, cause a theory's all it is. It's never been proven, but they teach it to the kids here. He said, I'm sorry, son, for bursting your bubble. These theories they try to put in your head, it's all just pseudoscience, he said. They'll have you believing in all kinds of crap. That gravity nonsense belongs in the trash. Believe me when I say to you, there ain't no gravity, and that's the truth, yeah. Well, my dad did some thinking for myself. I put that theory back on the shelf. That information people need to wake up and see. There ain't no such thing as gravity. So let me hear you sing it one more time now. Don't believe in gravity. Don't believe in fantasy. Don't believe, cause a theory's all it is. It's never been proven, but they teach it to the key. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So why the Elvis voice?
Why? Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, that was Alex, that was fantastic. Thank you.
It was awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. I was expecting to be performing. My voice is going already.
That was brilliant, man. We always enjoy it. We're actually gonna. You better rest your voice for the next 10 minutes because I think we have another request from. We're gonna. Before we got about 25 minutes left, and we're gonna get some orders here. We're gonna actually. This is being pre-recorded. For next week. It's live streamed through YouTube. And we're going to promote you for a week on 108 different social websites, And so we're going to get that, I wasn't actually, are you still in the top 5, top 6 in the UK? What's going on with the sales?
Well, I mean, when I first released the album, it briefly charted in the UK iTunes country genre chart. Now, in the UK, we're not exactly big consumers of country music, so I don't know how many records you need to sell to achieve a top 5 in the iTunes chart in the country genre. I have no idea. I will find out in a couple of weeks. I mean, it might mean, you need to sell 50 albums to get there. It might mean 5,000. I have absolutely no idea, but it only briefly charted there, and then it soon fell out. I think a bunch of people went out and bought it when I released it at the conference. I released a video as well advertising that the album was out, so a bunch of people went out and bought it immediately. It charted briefly and then sort of fell out the charts. So, I mean, that's an achievement in itself as far as I'm concerned. So that made me feel really good. But what it means in terms of sales and revenue, I don't know. I'll find out in a couple of weeks. But,
in other words, they unmainstreamed you. You went through the mainstream because you were selling so many of them. They actually had to put you on the mainstream. Then when they found out what the album was about, being about truth in the UK, oh, no way. We need to unmainstream Alex Michael.
Well, it's funny you should say that, actually, because when I released the album, I was supposed to have a physical CD copy available in Amazon. And for whatever reason, I mean, I'm calling conspiracy, of course, but for whatever reason, it still has not surfaced in Amazon. And I'm getting so many people requesting, when's the physical CD copy available? So I've had to contact my distributor probably about 3 or 4 times, and they keep coming back, oh, there's a problem with this, there's a problem with that. And I just heard from them today that it will be released in about 4 weeks. So the physical copy, according to them, will be available in 4 weeks, but it should have been available, a couple of months ago. So why they've delayed that certain release, I have no idea. But it all, it stinks as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, Alex, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there going to be an encore #2 album, or because as far as writing about flat Earth, or because really your talent is really reverberates with people, and the great part about it, your music, it brings people to the flat Earth because people love music. That's that connectiveness with music as well as what you're writing about. Is there going to be album #2? In the future?
Well, that's a good question, and it's one I've had a few times actually. But my response to that at the moment is I just don't know. What I'm trying to do now and spend a lot of my time doing is promoting the album that I've just done. You got to understand that it's one man doing everything. I'm not just doing everything musically as far as the instruments are concerned, and the production and the mixing and the mastering and the album cover and all the videos as well. The videos themselves can take months just to do one video. So it's an awful lot of work for one guy to do. It's not like I have, a bunch of session musicians or a marketer behind me or anything. I'm doing everything myself. So these things take a little bit longer. So at the moment, I'm just marketing what I've done at the moment. I obviously want it to get into more of the mainstream arena, really, because I know a lot of the flat earthers know about it, and some of them have purchased it, bless them. But to get it into the mainstream is going to take a little bit more marketing, and that's what I'm concentrating at the moment. Once that marketing and everything that I've done is done, then I will probably be hungry for more music, because that's what I do. And I guess at some stage there will be another album. I can't say for definite yet. And what kind of album that will be, I don't know. I really love blues music, so it would possibly be blues. Will I keep the same character? I don't know. Will it be about flat Earth? I don't know. In this crazy messed up world, I'm never going to be short of topics, that's for sure. And I get requests constantly for things like, do a song about chemtrails, do a song about the Federal Reserve, do a song about this and that, and I get hundreds of requests. So at the moment, I don't know. I don't know if I've got it in me at the moment, because the last one really exhausted me. I might spend a good few months promoting the music that I've done. We'll see. But knowing me, the kind of guy I am, I can't do nothing. I have to be doing something musically. I have to be involved in something creative. So I'm sure another album will be on the cards. I just won't commit to it just yet.
And you could always do what Pink Floyd did. Put flat Earth into subliminal messages. You know what I mean? Direct messages where you kind of read between the lines. You know what I mean? So it's but your music is really probably putting flat Earth on, amplifying through the masses. And it's almost like in what, I don't want to compare, as far as what I did. I wrote a book of me trying to go to Barnes and Noble to say, hey, put 100 of flat truth on your shelves. You know what I mean? And I understand the battle lines has been drawn, and but your music's so good that it's going to be very hard for the mainstream to unmainstream your music. That's the way I look at it. But the more popular, and that's the reason why you got people like us, Flat Earth Radio Live, the social websites, because we can reach a lot of people. You know what I mean? Millions of people throughout the groups. And I know you've taken full advantage of the social media network, have you not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's all I can do, really. I mean, it's all I've done is, created promotional videos for my music on my channel, and I encourage people to mirror my videos. So a lot of the channels are mirroring my content. So it's not that it's the music is reaching millions of people. that's all I can do in terms of marketing is just use YouTube and Facebook. You know, other than that, you have to put a huge budget behind it. You know, if you really want to get radio play, mainstream radio play, and you want to get onto the mainstream television networks, that kind of thing, all that sort of stuff costs an enormous amount of money. So all I've got at my disposal really is utilizing Facebook and YouTube. So that's all I can do presently.
Well, and we're going to utilize what we can, because we're actually going to promote this particular show for a week. And so it's being pre-recorded. So all the technical problems that we had, you know, trying to start the show up, that's to be expected. And a lot of people think that a lot of stuff that's going on is intentionally done to kind of suppress us as much as they can, whether it's through thought or through electronics, you know, as far as, and again, I wanted to apologize to our audience for getting a late start today. We actually have a second request for a song, and from one of your songs, you rested your voice a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm smoking here, so that's really not a good idea when you're singing. But as far as the requests go, I mean, if I know I haven't committed all of the lyrics to memory, so I might have to have you wait for a couple of seconds while I get the lyrics up on the screen, assuming that I haven't committed that one to memory. But we'll see what the request is.
Well, we have two requests. I got one. We'll go one at a time because you can't sing two songs at the time. You'd have to redub something.
Yeah, you'd have to believe in a spherical earth in order to do that.
All right, I have a request here. It's two requests, but the first request, go ahead. Okay. Mike Coscino.
I would like to hear the satellite hoax.
Ooh,
and why you believe that it's a hoax. Why don't you give us that first and then give us the song.
Hold on a second, satellite. I'm trying to find the lyrics. How do you spell satellite again? S-A-T-E-L-L-I-T-E, hoax. Trying to find the lyrics. Where are we? Satellite hoax lyrics. There we are. Why do I believe the satellite hoax is? Why do I believe the satellites are a hoax? Oh, well, as I say in the song, type that phrase into Google.
Type that phrase into Google.
Type the phrase satellites in space into Google, and you won't find a single picture of a satellite in space. You know, that's a huge red flag as far as I'm concerned. You know, all you get is a bunch of CGI. So that's as I say, that's a huge...
Do you believe in the firmament?
I do believe in the firmament. You know, there seems to be a lot of evidence for it. I don't know. It's one of those beliefs that I have. I don't know for sure, but, you know, you've got a lot of evidence for that as well, haven't you? You know, you've got a rocket that goes up and hits something. You've got it stated in an encyclopedia. I think it's the Americana Encyclopedia of 1958, saying that there's a dome at 13,000 feet. You've got that, you know, you've got these all kinds of events happening in the sky, these optical events that happen that could prove a firmament. I don't know. It's just, for me, it's a belief. It's not a knowing. I don't know how we can test that and really prove it. But yeah, I have a hunch it's there.
I do too. Yeah, I do too. And how long have you seen the light? Let's call it seeing the light. How long has it been since you've seen the light?
Well, I mean, my journey started with 9/11, like a lot of truthers, you know, when you wake up to that narrative, knowing that that's absolute nonsense. And then my conspiracy journey started there. And that was in 2012. That's when I really realized that, you know, the world we're living in is not as it's presented. And I guess, you know, once you sort of wake up to 9/11, you start looking at more conspiracy videos and you learn all about the Illuminati and the New World Order and all these other kind of things, chemtrails and fluoride, etc., etc. Right. And then eventually you get to a thing called flat Earth, which, of course, even though you're open-minded and you're conspiratorially minded, you still reject it at first and think it's ridiculous. And that's exactly what I did. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, and I refused to click on any videos until I clicked on one video, which was in 2016, May 2016, and it was entitled, "They Are Hiding God with the Biggest Secret Ever." And I thought, oh, that's an intriguing title, and it happened to be Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues, but somebody had titled it differently. And I watched that, and I got, you know, only a few minutes in or 20 minutes in, I can't remember, and my brain started exploding. I thought, oh, my God, there's something to this, and I was hooked. And that was, you know, almost 3 years ago. And so that, I guess, yeah, about almost 3 years ago is when I saw the light, if you like.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Me too. You gonna play us that song?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Awesome.
I'll try.
That Elvis voice back, huh?
Yeah, man. What happened there?
Right. I might have to sort of stop halfway through and scroll through the lyrics, but...
It's a really hard pill to take when somebody says that satellites could be fake. But don't you find it a little suspicious that you can't find any real satellite pictures? I know it's hard to be believed, but maybe we're all being deceived. Well, if you think you've seen one up in the sky, you can't see them with the naked eye, because a satellite is about the size of a car, at least 300 miles away. You can't see that far, whatever those dots are that move in the night. I'm telling you that ain't no satellite. Welcome to the satellite hoax, just another one of them NASA jokes. You can't find me a picture of a satellite without bringing up a bunch of that hoax. Yeah.
I cut that one a little short, that one, because my voice was starting to go and I couldn't see the lyrics. So I missed out a verse, but hey, you get the picture.
Man, that was great, buddy. We enjoyed it. And look, I hate to strain your voice. We're going to be ending the show in about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can't, this interview's cost me money. It was well worth it. I'd do it for double the amount of money that I lost today. And it's going to cost him money if we stay past 12:15 or 7:15 your time.
No, not a problem. I'm good to go.
And but thank you for that, Alex. We really, I kind of, the only thing I ever get confused about is trying to link with you is I think you got several different sites. And before you start resting your voice for this last song, because we're actually going to end it, I think it's been really well requested because, a lot of people that go down the rabbit hole, instead of researching flat Earth, they try to debunk the moon landings. You know what I mean? That more and more people worldwide do not believe that we were on the moon, that we landed on the moon. Even the president's question, well, once you go back to the moon, you know what I mean? So trying to give them a budget to the sky because they always cry that they need the international community to come involved because it takes an extraordinary amount of money to get to Mars, And Mr. Trump said, because he's not the president, he's just a puppet, but Mr. Trump did ask the question, what happens if I raise the ceiling and give you guys as much money as you need to get, because they telling Trump that they can't get to Mars to the 2030s. Give me a break. So Trump kind of took his ace off the deck and says, what happens if I just lift the ceiling and give you the money that you need now, like $1 trillion to get to Mars? You know what I mean? Which is kind of, classically, it's just such a charade. It's such a joke.
Start the presses.
Any response to that?
Well, you know how I feel about the moon landing. A camera on that thing, we can't, in 2019 or 2018, we can't put cameras on this thing. We've got GoPros that have battery life that last for ages and ages and ages, and we can't see the Earth as a sphere disappearing and getting smaller and smaller as it travels to Mars. We can't see Mars getting closer and closer towards the vehicle. We don't see any of that. We just get these grainy images, and the whole thing is just a joke, isn't it? I mean, it's just laughing.
It is. Hey, Alex, I have the request officially. And young lady, what is your name? That's Alex Michael.
My name is Carrie Mulligan.
Hey, Carrie.
Where am I at here? Hi there.
Hey.
I have a request for you.
Uh-oh.
My request is Never Went to the Moon.
Yeah, the song's called Do You Still Believe We Went to the Moon? That one, yeah.
That one.
Okay, let me see if I can play you a few bars.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Michael, the Flat Earth Music Man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. That's the title of a video that I watched on YouTube. You can see astronauts hanging from wires, proving that astronauts and NASA are liars. They analyze photos and highlight mistakes with the moon landing missions. They show it was fake. You can see them faking the photos of Earth. They use a round window to fake the curve. Yeah, that's suspicious, don't you think? I watched another documentary called Astronauts Gone Wild. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin gets a little riled. All he was asked to do was to swear to God that he went to the moon, but he would not. He was asked by a moon landing denier, had a chance to prove that he ain't no liar, but Buzz decided it's a punch, that dude, just for asking him to swear if he went to the moon. Well, do you still believe we went to the moon? Do you still believe what they're telling you? Just connect the dots and pretty soon you'll find out what I found out too. But if you question this stuff, you'll be labeled a loon. You'll be called a conspiracy theory buffoon. But I don't care, man. I'm still gonna make this tune, cause I know that we didn't go to the moon. And how about those moon rocks they gave to museums? And thousands of people did see them. But one museum took a closer look. They soon realized that something's afoot. The rock they were given turned out to be a fake. Just a piece of old wood, not a rock from space. Yeah, when God made the moon, he saw it was good, but apparently made it from petrified wood. That's suspicious. In another museum sits an astronaut suit. Take a good look at the tread on the boot. It doesn't match up with the prints on the moon. And y'all still believe what they're telling you? Or how about that phone call that Nixon made to the moon that's 250,000 miles away? When I can't get a signal on my cell phone line, I guess phones were better in '69. That's suspicious. So do you still believe we went to the moon? Do you still believe what they're telling you? Just connect the dots and pretty soon you'll find out what I found out too. But if you question this stuff, you'll be labeled a loon. You'll be called a conspiracy theory buffoon. But I don't care, man. I'm still gonna make this tune, cause I know that we didn't go to the moon. Yeah.
Alex, that was brilliant. Thank you so much, man. It's just.
Hey, you're welcome, man.
How did you write you had to put all the music together, the lyrics. You had to do it all, huh? All the.
Yeah, and I missed out on the final verse on that, which is where is it? Yeah, you went straight through those Van Allen belts.
It wasn't a problem, right? And nothing was felt. But now you say it's a problem and you can't get through. This problem needs to be solved, according to you. But didn't you solve that problem back in '69 and you flew straight through them 5 more times? You wonder why I think it's fake when there are so many Apollo mistakes, like the telemetry data that's all gone missing. 13,000 reels, are you kidding? A giant leap for all mankind, but you lost the data and no one can find.
So yeah, all the lyrics are all mine. It's just I tried to put all the bullet points in, just to get people to question that whole bunch of events that we call the Apollo moon landings. And there's so I just tried to put all the bullet points in there to get people to question it. And there's plenty of them there, like the telemetry data, the moon rocks, the intersecting shadows, the no blast crater from the lunar module, and the fact that we can't, NASA have said several times that we can't leave low Earth orbit. all of those things I tried to put in there. And yeah, I probably could have put more, but it would have ended up a 15-minute song.
Well, knowledge through music is what you do, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to be God-given talent of being musically inclined and accumulating the knowledge of waking up to the truth. And by the way, when did you wake up to the truth? What year?
Well, the Flat Earth Truth, it was May 2016. That was the Flat Earth Truth Awakening. Before that, I was quite conspiratorially minded from sort of 2012 with 9/11 and all the other things, the chemtrails and the fluoride. But I got to Flat Earth in May 2016. But yeah, I mean, I've been a musician most of my life. I've done all the gigs and played in pubs and bars and clubs. And now that I have this information about the Flat Earth, I kind of feel that it's my mission. It's what I'm here to do. It's why I was put here. I now I feel I have a purpose, which is a wonderful feeling.
Well, you absolutely have a purpose with millions of people. They suggesting that 2% of America believes in flat Earth, which makes it 7.5 million people. So you do have a big enough audience, and luckily, we have taken you on, and we're going to do what we can to promote, and maybe we can sell a couple hundred, help you sell a couple hundred within the next week, because we're actually pre-recording this show, and we're going to, prop it up for 6 days, and not tonight, but next Thursday, it's going to be on live, and it's also going to be live streamed through YouTube. And Alex, when we already have a couple, I think Carrie, Danny, and Patty want to order your CDs. And Mike, if you don't mind, get a fountain pen out, and we're going to go get some orders for you tonight. And, we don't have a big audience here because of the time difference, because I was hoping to do you 2 o'clock in the morning, but you felt that was too late. And I understand that,
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't be able to sing at that time in the morning. I'm usually in bed by about 11 o'clock. But yeah, I mean, the album is not available as a physical copy yet. It's only available as a digital copy. So the only place you can get it is the digital stores like iTunes or Amazon MP3. Or you can stream it on Spotify if you've got a Spotify account. You can sign up for a free Spotify account and you can listen to the music there. It will be interrupted with the odd advertisement if you've got a free account. Or Apple Music as well. You can sign up for that. But yeah, there's plenty of ways to get it digitally. And hopefully in about 4 weeks' time, you'll be able to get the physical CD, so you can actually hold it in about 4 weeks from Amazon. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, the copy that you gave me at the Flat Earth Conference is always on, when I'm going back and forth from work. And unfortunately, I haven't been to work yet, so I'm playing hooky with this interview, which I'm going to be getting back to work shortly here. But
okay, man.
Alex, we want you back on the show, Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity. And we want to promote you as much as we can. And hopefully we won't have the technical issues that we had. But it's just, by my coming to Coscinos, they got several Wi-Fi accounts. And I believe that the issue was primarily with me. I was on the wrong Wi-Fi account. Luckily, my colleague here, Mike Coscino, he wants to tell you bye as well. But we really appreciate you. Would you come back on?
Yeah, sure, of course. If I've got anything new to speak about, I mean, I don't want to keep thrashing out the same songs, because people want new stuff all the time. People's attention span is so short these days. They want a new album every month, and that's just not possible for one man to do. But I mean, I am working on another collaboration with another guy. I can't really say too much about that, but that will be out another video in maybe a month or so, and maybe when that comes out, you might be interested in talking to me about that. But yeah, so keep an eye on my channel, and when you see something new pop up, and if you want to talk to me about it, just Skype me, man.
Hey, by the way, I want you to give a shout out to my show. Say you're listening to Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity with Mark Hollander, only on Flat Earth Radio Live. Could you do that?
You're listening to Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity with Mark Hollander on Flat Earth Radio Live.
Oh, that's great. I got one more guy. Mike wants to tell you goodbye, and then I'm going to take over the last minute of the show, and we're going to go from there. Mike, okay, Alex Michael.
Hey, Alex, nice to meet you, brother. If you're ever down in New Orleans, why don't you look us up, and we'll go party or something, dude.
Oh, sounds good, man. I never know where I'm going to be. Flat Earth really takes you places, man. So, never say never. So, yeah, absolutely. If I'm in the area, we'll hook up, man.
Hopefully we'll get a good Flat Earth conference down here one day.
And by the way,
you
he's a
know.
musician too. What do you play? Tell Alex what you play.
Yeah, I'm a guitar player, man. I sing a little bit, but I'm mostly a lead guitar player in a rock band.
Oh man, get some flat Earth music out there, man. Get writing some flat Earth stuff.
Yeah, well, my band's asking me to write some new stuff, so maybe I'll get some digs in, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, you just got to drop a one-liner in there, you know, something that we all understand, but they wouldn't get. It's easy to put that subliminal stuff in there, so they might not even know.
Right. Well, nice meeting you, pal.
And
God
you, man.
bless.
And Alex, again, I want to thank you for coming on Hoodwinked into the Age of Insanity, and you know by now that we love you very much, and we're going to promote this for a week, and we're just always anxious to talk to you, and looking forward to all of your work now and all your work coming up. You know, so we think you've been hitting home runs for us, for you, for the collective, the Flat Earth Collective. And you are such a blessing to everybody worldwide. And thank you for coming on my show. And Alex, next week, be looking for it. It's going to be all over. And we're also going to get you. We got about 3 orders for you, so they're going to be ordering now. But I got to get to work, man. This is my work too. You know what I mean? But just like anything else, you know what I mean. I'm making my cornbread living. I got to connect the dots like everybody else, you know, pay bills.
Yeah, man. No, I understand. Well, thank you for your kind words, and I appreciate your support. And yeah, we'll hook up next time, man. And you know, sorry about the time difference and that, but perhaps I don't know. We'll have to do something else next time. Maybe at the weekend, that might be better.
Yeah, the weekend it wouldn't matter whether it's 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay, man. Well, it's been a pleasure as always, and take care, man.